Welcome back to the You Ain't Lying podcast. I already forgot which episode this is. Whoops. I don't know. But we're here talking about life after college sports, and we got my girl Kylah and my homeboy Ranthony, and I'm gonna let them introduce themselves.
Yeah, so I'm Kylah. I went to Midwestern State University to play volleyball in the year of 2017. We just went over that, so I forgot, even though it's not too far off from that. And yeah, I played until 2020 and kind of fizzled out before the COVID season.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That cut you off from it just ended because of COVID?
No, honestly, I did not have the best experience. The coach who recruited me did not stay beyond my freshman year, and so then we got a new coach, and you know how that goes. She was definitely trying to get my class, out of there, but we survived. A couple of us. I went in with 5 incoming freshmen, and only 3 of us survived, and then really it was one person at that point after I left from my graduating class. Yeah.
So she wasn't it.
No, she wasn't it at all. She knew her stuff for sure. I'll give her credit there, but she was not a people person.
Yeah, we gonna get into it.
Yeah, she tore us down. So I left.
College is cutthroat. Yeah, I've had my experience with college. Coach change for sure.
It's wild.
But,
and then Ranthony.
So Ranthony Texada, from Frisco, Texas, graduated 2013, went to TCU, college from 2013 to 2017, and then played 6 years professionally, 1 year in the NFL, 4 years in the CFL up in Canada, and then about a year and a half, I guess you would say, with the XFL, because one of the years got cut short because of COVID.
Yeah.
So, dang, yeah. COVID messed up everything.
Yeah. COVID changed a lot.
It sure did.
I'm talking about messed my whole scholarship up and all that.
Mm-hmm.
What NFL team did you play for?
Redskins at the time, not Commanders. Yeah. So pretty dope.
Hate experience. The name change. What is a commander?
I don't even know about that one.
Yeah. I don't know. They had some crazy changes in between that too.
And then you gang?
Well, I mean, shoot. You already know. Jaxon. I went into UNT 2018, left 2021, and then played JUCO at Butler Community College. And then after that, I was like, football just ain't for me. It can't be.
Why can't it be?
I mean, that was kind of like, when I went JUCO, that was kind of like my semester of, all right, I'm really going to put everything into it. And if I don't get what I get out of it, what I think I should, then it's obviously not for me.
Yeah.
And if I couldn't do, in my personal opinion at the time, if I couldn't do better than UNT, then nothing was going to be worth it.
Okay. So, did y'all have multiple offers for college?
Honestly, I don't remember. I know I went on definitely a couple visits. I walked out with a few, but I don't know. Midwestern it felt like home to me, so that's why I chose it. And I really loved the coach who recruited me at the time. Yeah. But yeah, I really don't remember. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a crazy experience. I mean, I probably had like 19 or 20.
So you was cold.
Yeah, I had a lot, but it was crazy because I never going into high school, that wasn't something that I was automatically thinking about. I got to go D1, I got to get football.
So it was not crazy. Your plan?
Because I played every sport. I played football, I played basketball, I played baseball, and then after my
and
junior
track.
year, and track, but I didn't do track until junior and senior year. I didn't even do it freshman and sophomore year. So so that junior year, after that year, we had a really good year. We won district and everything. And then I got my first scholarship. I think it was February from Western Kentucky. I'll never forget that. But it was just you get one, and then in football, it kind of just starts rolling in after that.
Flood after that.
I was telling one of my guys that I coach now, I remember my 17th birthday, I think I got 3 offers in one day. So
that's crazy.
That was crazy. But TCU obviously was close to home, and they had just gotten to the Big 12 the year before. So being able to go there, it's not far, and it's a good school, academically too. it was kind of like a no-brainer. I knew I could play early there too. So
that actually surprised me though. Like you never really thought to go D1 at all. Like,
well, like I thought of it, but like it wasn't something where like, you know, you got kids nowadays, like they put everything into one sport.
You've been playing football your whole life.
But I didn't just play football though. Like I played everything. Like even when I was in
any sport, you wasn't thinking I'm gonna play in college. Any of them.
Well, yeah, like, but it wasn't like that's, you know how you got kids these days. It's like everything they putting everything into one sport. Like I gotta get here. Like I just played everything.
You just having fun.
Yeah, like I played everything. I was good at it, but it was like. Then once I got that first, I was like, dang, okay, yeah, I'm really good at this. Like, I need to take this.
You knew you was really good.
I knew I was really good, but like, dang, I'm getting the opportunity to go play at the next level. Because y'all remember me, I wasn't the biggest dude. Like, I was not very big. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to camps and stuff like that, but like, until I got the first offer, then it became like a reality. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
would you say your dad ever forced it on you, or
nah, he never forced it.
Which
it's the
is
craziest
surprising because all of y'all D1
well,
like
let's break down their family situation real quick.
Yeah.
And this is just outside perspective.
Yeah.
So growing up, you had big bro Rant that was obviously getting all the offers in D1 and all that. And then you go down a couple years, then you got Raleigh.
Yep.
The fastest dude in the district.
Yep.
He out of everybody, he gonna be the fastest.
I think in the state his year. Like I think the year that he graduated might have been like the fastest in the state.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Time wise.
Then you go down a couple years, then you got the youngest one, Reg.
Yep.
And when I tell you that boy, he's been like that since the Florida Gators, the FFL Gators. I remember watching bro then. Yep. So their family's been locked in. I think your dad played too, right?
Yeah, he played a little bit in college. I think he played like 2 years, but then he kind of he put it down and then just focused on education and got his degree and everything.
Did your family push sports on you?
No, not at all really. Neither of my parents really like played sports like that. So I was really the first one, and really first one to go to college in my family too. So yeah, that was a big deal.
Well, congratulations on that.
She's breaking generational
curses. Oh, you know, we trying over here.
That's real. Those things are real.
We're trying for sure.
Yeah, I'm the first one on my dad's side to go to school and graduate.
Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely a cool feeling. Definitely rewarding for sure.
See, I didn't have that experience. My dad, from the moment I was born, that's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing else for
No
me.
other option.
Yeah. Like, I'm going D1 for football.
Yeah, no, I mean, he had us in all the sports, but I never felt like the pressure of like, you got to be doing this. Like I never felt it. Maybe he was trying to push us to doing it, but like I was having fun. Like it never felt forced.
Yeah.
That's good though, because especially like now me being like strength and conditioning coach and have worked with a lot of youth athletes, like I got first graders coming in at one point and their parents are like, yeah, they're it. And I'm like, cool. Yeah, absolutely. Like, let's get them there. But I'm also like, I hope these kids are still having fun.
Right.
That's the most important part. Because even like for me, by the time I got to college, I was kind of like, I mean, it's fun still, but at the same time, it's like, it is work. Like there were times where I'm waking up for weights. Like, do I still want to do this? Like
that was
5
one of my
wake
questions.
up.
Like what was like y'all's whole days would be planned out.
Yeah. College, you got to find a different type of motivation though.
You really do.
And even more so in today's college, but even when we was coming up, like you almost can't really just play for fun. Like you got to find something extra to push you to keep going. Because there are days where you just don't want to. You don't want to do the workout. You don't want to get up early in the morning. You don't want to go to class after you just had a long crazy practice or something like that.
You got chewed out on film.
Yup, on film, like
Yeah, so y'all experienced a completely different thing. Like we did not do the whole film thing like that.
Y'all didn't have film?
I mean, we did film sessions, but not like football players with film. Like,
yeah, it's different.
Oh my gosh, they're always in a film session.
How long are y'all's practices?
Back then, I think it was close to 3.
Ours was about 2. I think ours was like 2 at TCU.
And your practices?
They started off as 2 with my first coach, and then the following years it was 3. And I don't know if y'all know anything about volleyball, but like 3 hours every day practicing volleyball is actually insane.
Yeah.
Like there's not much more different variations of drills that you can do.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, no.
I say 2, but you got to include meetings and all that.
Yeah.
And the meetings, that's like an hour. So, yeah,
Well, you
get
got-
up to 3, maybe 3.5 throughout the whole day.
So my wake up schedule, this is my schedule every day. So you can wake up at 6 to get breakfast. You go get the breakfast, then you got to go to treatment. After the treatment, you go to film. After
Okay.
film, you got team meeting. After the team meeting, boom, you go to practice. After practice, you go get something to eat. After you get something to eat, you go to film. If not, you go to film for like the padded session. You watch different sections of practice.
Okay.
And you go to film to watch the padded session. And then after that, that's when you go to class.
I was about to say, when do y'all go to class?
Yeah, I was like, when is
So
class?
all this is happening you'll be done probably about 3:00.
With class and everything.
No.
Oh.
Oh, I was about to say, like, your day.
So you do all of that and then class starts at 3.
Yeah. And then
Oh my gosh.
and then you after class,
Study hall.
study hall. And that's your whole day, every day.
Yeah, and ours is like reverse. We at TC, when I was there under Coach Patterson, we had classes first. So we'd have classes all the way up until like 11 o'clock. And then
So you got the 8 a.m. class.
Yeah, 8 a.m. You know, the older I got, I kind of actually preferred the 8 a.m. kind of get my day over
No,
with.
Right.
That's fair.
And then
Because you don't want to be exhausted. when you're going to class.
right.
You
And
waking up anyway.
Right. And if anyone that played under Coach P, they would know the schedule is the same for any time. So like he was there until 2021, I think. If I would have showed up in 2020, it was the same schedule for all the
Okay.
athletes. So like around like 1 o'clock, that's when you had to get ready for meetings, get over there, get dressed. And then we start practice at like 2:10. Practice go till about 4. And then we'll probably have meetings after that, especially if it's during camp or whatever. We'll have meetings after that and then study hall.
So what time is your day in? Like what?
Like 7.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mhm.
7 o'clock.
Did y'all have Bible study at TCU?
Yeah, we had FCA. We had an FCA group, and I'm actually still close with the leaders over there at TCU, Chauncey Franks and Coleman Maxwell. Really good guys that really helped me when I was going through a hard time, or if I ever was going through a hard time. I could always talk to them. I still got their number right now. I could hit them up if I needed to.
That's
That's
nice.
dope.
Some good people.
What was your schedule? Not as hectic as that.
Definitely not as hectic as that. I mean, and that's the thing too. Like, it was different for us. I guess like female athletes, we needed a little bit. We didn't need as much like, you know, directness as the male athletes did. So, but we were definitely still expected to get those good grades for sure. No, I think we would like wake up for weights. I think we had weights at like 6:30.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was definitely not my
Yeah, that's
favorite.
brutal.
Not a morning person. We'd have weights at like 6:30, and then some of us may have to leave to go to class in the middle, and then I think I did at some point, and I had to like go back and make it up during the day.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it was crazy. I hated that. And then like some of us would have class at different times of the day, and then we'd meet back again for practice around 3:30ish. We're done maybe around 5:30, 6:30, and then after that, some of us, our study hall was different. We didn't have like a structured study hall like you guys did. Like we went during the day, and some of us had different amounts of hours. Like I think by the time I was a junior, senior, I think I had like 1 hour because of my GPA.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
So
like
ours
that,
was
yeah.
like based off
Yeah.
of GPA.
Yeah, it was
Ours
like
was
that
that.
too.
Okay, cool.
It was like that too.
What was
Yeah, I
the
was
GPA
in
y'all had?
study hall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pause. What was the actually?
Yeah,
I'm
what was
interested in this.
y'all's
What was y'all's GPA requirement to get
Yeah.
out of study hall?
Oh, to get out,
Yeah.
I think you had
like a 2.5, maybe
2.5.
Yeah, it was low.
We
Yeah,
had
it
to have
low.
a 3.5 to get out of study hall. Or
It
actually,
was
no, a
low.
3.6, and I had a 3.5, and I was so upset.
I think they wanted our average to get up. So I think ours sat at like, if you got a 3.0 and like you've been consistent on that, you good. You don't even
Oh,
have
that's
to show
crazy.
up.
Yeah.
But me, I was in
So
there.
did y'all's coaches take school serious, or that was just like football was
Uh,
serious?
I'll be real. They make sure you take your ass to class.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Like-
classes for sure.
Like they gonna check them classes.
But do they care about your GPA?
I would say after, because I had a couple coaching changes. I would say Coach Redford was major on that, but he also told Mama like he was
Yeah.
gonna be on that. But after Coach Redford, they didn't really check on me on classes or nothing like that. Didn't even check if I was going to study hall.
Wow.
In football too, you do have your select coaches that you build a relationship with that that do care about you. But overall, like as long as you eligible,
that's all that matters.
They cool as long as you eligible. And really, you could be failing. You could honestly, when we was playing, you could be failing the whole football season, and then if you did fail, then you would just you wouldn't miss no games for failing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our coaches,
because of the way the
coaches
schedule
would
is,
never.
like you wouldn't be ineligible until the spring.
Like
That's
when that
crazy.
when that report comes out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like then
I'm pretty sure you could play all the way up unless you had like a bowl game that
Right.
next year. If you was ineligible, then you wouldn't be able to play in the bowl game. But if your bowl game was before like Christmas break, like you was good.
yeah.
See, that's crazy to me, the difference between expectations of
Yeah.
the female and male athletes academically. I think that's interesting. And I want to ask whoever's in charge of that, like, what's the purpose?
Because they just want them to play.
I mean, I get that, but
it's whatever brings in the
So
the
do y'all
money.
think that
Fair,
kind
fair.
of
that brings in the money.
that kind of dynamic prepared y'all for after y'all were done? Like,
let's get into that.
Well, on my end, I can't speak. Every player is different. First of all,
Right.
let's keep that in.
Yep.
let's
Everyone
keep
has
that
their
in
own
mind, too.
experience.
Like everybody does things different in college. Like there's people that don't drink, don't smoke. There's people that show up on time, whoop de whoop. And then you got the slackers that are scraping by.
Yep.
Like you know they're gonna be late to meetings. You know they're gonna come through smelling like that.
Yep.
Like
even at
hungover.
TCU?
Oh yeah.
So like you got those types of players as well. So like there's different ways you can I like to say learn the structure,
Okay.
because there's some people that don't learn structure at all from college. They feel loose, free, and the coaches are like, yeah, we gotta let you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I had friends like that too, even on my team. So yeah,
That just kind of did
I'd
what they
agree.
wanted to do.
yeah, I just never really got it, or like just struggled the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree 100% with what you
So-
said. That's you get all kinds of people from different backgrounds and everything. Some people it's gonna stick, some people it's not. And honestly, being out of college, you can see where people are. And based off of how they was in college, some people you'd be surprised, like, oh, okay, he got his life together. And some people be like, yep, I knew it. That's exactly what.
But you know
It's
what
gonna
though?
be.
Like I think even like I'm a very structured person. I walked into college structured. Like that did not exist in my family. That was an
Mhm.
expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Even post grad though, I think I'm still struggling now to figure out like what to do
With your time.
with my time, because also too, I don't think like it's talked about enough. For one, I know like football players experience this heavy post grad, but like they don't have any idea what to do with like themselves
was
post football,
me.
because especially like young Black men,
Mm-hmm.
they're taught you're going to the NFL, you're
That's
going to the
what-
NBA,
yeah.
like
Yep.
you're going to play some type of pro sport.
Yeah.
So I know like I've watched a lot of my male friends like struggle with that, and honestly, I think I had like a delayed struggle. Like now I'm in that struggle.
Mm.
I immediately post grad like threw myself into other things to like fill that void.
Mm-hmm.
And now that those things are gone, now I'm struggling with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something that we all kind of struggle with after.
I didn't play in college, but I played all the way up to high school, and I struggled with that. Like, so I can't even imagine another 4 years
Yeah.
or 5 for some people who redshirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's like that's all you knew.
Yep.
I've been playing basketball since I was 4. So then when I stopped playing after high school, I was like,
Yeah, you almost don't even know who you are. Like that's really, I think that's something too that in college sports we have to be so much better about like teaching our athletes. Like you have an identity outside of your sport.
Yeah.
Like your sport is not who you are. And that was something that like for me, I thought I'm always going to be an athlete. Like this is going to be my thing for life. And then it hits you all of a sudden when you start to see that that's not the case.
it's not the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think NIL is fixing that problem for a lot of these
Yeah.
college athletes.
Yeah.
Because now they're knowing they can build a brand off their face. They know they can pull in money off
Mhm.
their face, which back when we were playing, we didn't have that.
Yeah, we ain't have
Definitely
it.
not.
So
Y'all weren't making money off.
when I lost my identity, because anybody ever knew me I was just that football player.
Mm.
Like that's all I was. So for me, that was just a major struggle.
It was major.
To really kind of dissect on what did I learn from football that I can put into my life, and what did I learn that I can't like my body's not gonna make me money forever.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that's where I kind of think like even the NIL stuff is like, if one of these kids get severely injured, it's up.
Yeah, they lose.
Yeah.
it all.
Like it's a toss up. Are you gonna get kept? Are you gonna get booted? Like it's a toss up. So while that's nice and dandy, while they have it, all that can go away immediately. And some of these kids don't know how to deal with their money either.
I agree.
So once that money's gone, what's left? So I think that
Yeah.
that's just as dangerous, to be honest.
It's gonna end. It ends for everyone, and
It don't
even when
go
you go to
forever.
you go to the next level. They call the NFL not for long.
Yeah.
So like, not just college people experience it. It's people in professional sports, even people with all the money in the world. They get done playing, they're not getting that same type of income coming in no more, and so they have to figure out what's their purpose. What is that next step in their life? So it's not just, you know, the college kids who might not have anything coming out. It's even I've seen people who you would think have it all, and then they get done playing and they're not in that type of world anymore, and they're lost too.
Mhm.
And so, you know, I know for me, I think something that helped me a lot was COVID. That COVID year, I was getting ready to go back to Canada for another season, and they postponed the season. And that was when I got into my first little coaching role and kind of getting back to, you know, being around the younger generation. And I coached at a little private school out in Fort Worth. And that whole little experience was like, okay, yeah, I think this is what, when you get done, like, this is something that is your calling. It doesn't feel like work.
Mhm.
You know, you enjoy doing what you're doing. It, you know, obviously teaching and coaching isn't the most money in the world, but like when I'm there, it doesn't feel like work. You know what I'm saying? I just
Yeah,
like
that's
it
what
feels like
matters.
it feels like my
Genuinely.
passion, my purpose. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's kind of like where I am in my life right now, where, you know, giving back to, you know, kind of like how the older generation gave to me, I'm kind of giving that to the youth now.
So you weren't lost at all when you were done playing?
When I was done playing, no, I wouldn't say I was, because when I got done playing in 2023, I finished my last game.
Did you know it was your last game?
I had a feeling it was gonna be
Okay.
my last game. I didn't have to walk away from playing. Like I could have easily went back up to Canada and got another contract, but I was kind of just like at a point where I wanted something a little bit more stable. Like I wasn't leaving all the time, and you know, I got, at the time that I retired, I had my oldest daughter, and so I kind of wanted to be there every day. You know what I'm saying? Not there for like 6 months and then I'm gone for like 5-6 months in and out. And so when I got done playing, I told my pops, like, yeah, I want to, you know, I want to get into coaching and teaching. What I got to do to get into that. And so, you know, I called some people, made some calls, and I was able to, you know, get a job at Little M. So
nice.
It's been smooth.
Yeah, that's what's up.
It's been smooth. So,
Man.
but I seen the struggle from, you know, teammates that I've had, you know, even talking with my brothers, like what they have to do whenever they get done playing. When that moment comes, you know, we have those types of talks.
Yeah.
Were you expecting to go pro, or that was just like another bonus?
I knew I had a shot. I knew I had a pretty good shot. Now, did I know it was gonna last as long as it did? No, I didn't know, but because it's really a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you could be having a really good game, and then the next week they getting ready to cut you or trade you. So it's kind of like a crazy world where there's a lot of ups and downs, and then you have problems with agents. And I know a lot of people can attest to that, like dealing with different agents and stuff like that, and just people who believe in you, trying to find people that believe in what you can do and what you can provide for an organization. So, but you know, if you're not like, you know, that 1% that's in the league, you know, every year that you see, most guys in the NFL, like they say, not for long. Like they not really there for that long. And then, you know, you got these other avenues and leagues now, like the CFL and the UFL now, that's giving guys opportunities, but it's going to end for everyone at some point. You can't play sports forever.
Do you think the CFL is like actually worth it though? Like, because that was always my biggest thing. Like if it wasn't the NFL, I didn't want to go.
It's a great league. I'll tell you, it's a great league. It's been around for over 100 years.
Oh,
it's people
I did
up
not know
there.
that.
Yeah, it's people up. That's what I'm saying. They don't market the game really well down here, but up there it's like a really big thing. And if you can get your foot in the door, it's a really good league. I know guys that's been playing up there for like 10, 11 years.
So if you wouldn't have had a family, you would have probably kept playing.
Maybe, yeah.
Or
probably.
tried a little harder to play.
I would have tried maybe a little bit harder to keep playing.
Okay.
But you know,
priorities.
Yeah, priorities. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy though. I always thought like what is it like in Canada though?
Yeah.
It's
different. It's different. Canada, I'll say, okay, so I was in Ottawa and it didn't really feel like, just being there didn't feel like I was in another country, but there's like little things that makes it feel different.
That
like
reminds you.
like they don't use our same like standard system of like metrics and
Yeah.
yards, feet.
measuring.
They use meters, they
Yeah.
use kilometers, and you notice that like off the bat. Another thing that's crazy, the milk. They put the milk in bags.
Huh?
They don't use like cartons.
In bags.
They don't use cartons.
How do you have a bag of milk?
Bag, like every grocery. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Wait.
Let me go get
Is
my
it
bag
like,
of milk.
is it like a bag with a nozzle on it, or like?
Yeah, like,
Like
How
a
are
wine
you pouring
cooler?
the milk in the?
it's in a
bowl?
bag, and then you get your own little carton and you pour it in there. Like you go to any grocery store out there, the milk is in bags. It's crazy. Yeah,
Nuts.
yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my
Yeah.
goodness.
Okay.
That is
gosh.
nuts. Okay, I have a question.
hmm
So y'all were all college athletes, and I think all of y'all were in relationships. Was it hard to maintain that relationship with the crazy schedule?
I'll go first. Time. You don't have any time for
Yeah.
that. And you gotta kind of make a choice. Do you want to marry the game or do you want to marry this person? And that's really what it
Ooh.
is.
That was good.
That was smooth.
No,
That was
it's,
smooth.
but that's really what it is
That's
because
facts.
that's where all your time is going and all your love and your dedication. So
Yeah.
if that person can't accept that, then they gotta.
Well, so were you dating somebody who was also playing college sports, or a regular? That sounds bad. Just a student.
Yeah, just regular.
And that's makes it harder because they don't understand the schedule, and they're not as busy as you, so they're bored waiting on you.
Yeah, I
Right.
could see that being a big problem.
Right.
Yeah, so my wife, she wasn't an athlete. I didn't meet her though until my junior year
Okay.
of college. She was a nurse, so she was going through
She was
all.
busy.
Yeah.
She was busy too.
Yeah, she was going through the whole little nursing
Nurses
thing.
be going through it.
Yeah,
Through
going
it,
through the whole
girl.
nursing program. But like you said, you do like football. You have to be all in. You have to dedicate a lot of time, a lot of even outside of what they schedule.
Not
You
for
you got to put time
extra,
in.
fam.
And so when it comes to relationships, if you don't have someone that's supportive of that or is trying to like understand your world, then it's gonna be problems for sure.
Yeah. I was in a relationship with somebody who was also an athlete, so I didn't really run into a lot of those problems, like about time.
Mm.
I would just say college dating in general is already such a weird space to be in. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Sports or no sports.
sports or no sports, and especially dealing with y'all football players, y'all different.
That's
you ain't
crazy.
lying.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm cool.
You don't have no more questions?
I'm good.
I think I have one more. Okay, yeah, I do. So, you always thought you were gonna go to the league. You didn't think you were gonna go. You didn't think you weren't gonna go, but it was not your plan.
Yeah.
I'm about to ask you a question.
Phone call.
The You Ain't Lying podcast. Just
Wow.
real spiel.
I'm gonna be having a moment.
Who knows what's going on? But I'll ask you. So after it ended, like knowing that okay, like that future is over, did you have to like retrain? Like, okay, I'm not a football player anymore.
Yeah. So when it did, I told y'all like I knew what I wanted to get into. That doesn't mean like I didn't have days where like it wasn't hard
Yeah.
because it's, you did this your whole life. You meet a lot of people, and I still got a lot of friends and teammates and stuff that's still playing.
Yeah.
And so I'll see guys that are either at the NFL level or playing at another level, and it's like dang, like I know I can still go out there and do what they're doing or still perform.
Like you still got it.
Yeah, like I feel like I still got it, but it's kind of like I'm at a different point in my life, and they'll get to where I am at some point too. And so like I knew that I tried not to consume myself in that.
with
Like I
those
tried to
thoughts.
I tried to keep myself busy as far as kind of ingraining myself in that next career, that next life that I have envisioned for myself, so that I'm not just getting into that kind of like a bad mental state when it comes to it, because it's easy to fall into that.
Yeah. Thinking about what could have been is always.
Yeah.
What is
Always
after
comparing
college volleyball? Like, what can you do after that, sports wise?
I mean, I will say just recently, like they have, there's a new like pro league in the US, so like that's cool. But that's like for all the big time girlies, like definitely not a lot of D2 players there. And there's also overseas options as well too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But yeah, like volleyball is just not as like well known I don't want to say like well known, but it's just not as well like broadcasted as other sports
popular
here, in the US than it is in other countries. So yeah, that was never really like on my radar to go pro,
to like take it the next level.
Yeah, so I knew that I needed to figure out what I wanted to do post grad, and I didn't really know what that looked like. I knew I wanted to still like work with athletes. So then that's kind of what brought me to the strength and conditioning route. So
I feel like every athlete who was an athlete stays in that realm of like being a coach of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. So
does it feel like work to you?
It doesn't. I will say like the capacity at which I am doing it has changed. Because I was working for like a private sector company. And that private sector world is just, even like the public sector, like working at a university, that's a world I never want to step foot in.
Yeah.
Because that's different.
It is.
Yeah, that's very different. Like it's weird. Like same thing for you football players. As a coach, strength and conditioning coach, once you're in, you're like married to the game, just as much as the players are. And I wanted time, so that's why I went the private sector route. I wanted to control my schedule. However, that requires you to like wake up every day and like be regimented and like figure out you got to hustle. So that's kind of why I stepped back just a little bit, because that hustle culture can be damaging to the soul just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, since you left when I was trying to ask you a question, I was going to say, how did it affect you knowing that your future didn't plan out the way you had thought it was going to?
Man, that was tough. I felt like I let not only you down, but like, you gotta understand, a lot of people were banking on me to make it too. So I felt like I let a lot of people down. And then I had to realize, and I really give Northwestern Mutual this credit, because they kind of gave me that independent mindset to go get it on my own. You can reach that type of money without all the concussions. Like when they sat me down and told me that, like you can, like it's capable. You're like, it's out there. There's enough money for everybody. So that was a tough one for me. But then, I slowly started to pick it up on that end, and kind of like you said, just finding your passion. What doesn't feel like work for you?
Yeah.
Because football never felt like work. I always enjoyed putting in hours in the gym. I always enjoyed putting in that extra film time. Like, it wasn't work for me, because like I enjoyed it. So finding, I guess, that enjoyment in something else was the hardest part. But
were there any moments y'all's faith was tested during y'all's careers? Yeah.
I would say yeah.
I mean, it's still tested every day,
sure.
But honestly, I think too, us athletes, we have to like figure out what we like to do for fun, even just outside of work. And that's something that I'm like trying to do now, because I've taken a little step back of like actually coaching in person and things like that. It's mainly online. And then I also work for like a strength and conditioning company, a software company. And basically I'm just teaching people how to use software. And when I get off work, I get off at 3. So the world is my oyster. After that, I got to figure out, okay, like, am I going to the gym? Am I going to like make a new recipe, something like that? And then I have weekends off. I have ability for unlimited PTO. Like, I could really just go do whatever.
That's a nice schedule.
Amen. I'm blessed for sure. But it's like, I find myself with all this time, because time is a luxury. I have all this time now. It's like, what do I do with it? And I think, as being an ex-athlete, in my head, I'm like, oh, I got to make more money. I got to work. I got to put my energy into more work. And it's like, honestly,
why?
I think, I don't know, like everybody's faith based, but like Christianity, hustle culture and Christianity do not align with each other. And that's something that I'm having to like unlearn as an athlete, because it's all about the hustle, which isn't bad, when you're playing your sport. But after that, it's like, we should be hanging out with our friends. We should be going and seeing like the Lord's creation, you know, go take a hike,
Mhm.
go for a walk, go breathe some fresh air.
He commands us to rest.
Yeah, like rest is so crucial. And so that's what I've been doing lately is like I get off work and I'm like, all right, I've taken up boxing. That's a new hobby.
Oh,
You know,
that's
that left uppercut is coming through real nice. So yeah, I've just really been trying to practice like what does Kylah like to do outside of work?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
also,
self-discovery.
with time, I would also add, God makes time in your schedule. Like he's gonna open up that opportunity. So like, you just gotta let him. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Let him. Once you see that opportunity, take that chance to spend time with
Yeah.
God.
You know.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. Like sometimes I'm sitting at home and I'm like anxious because I'm like, oh, I should be doing something. I'm not doing enough.
Mhm.
Because we go on Instagram and then I see this girl who just worked out today and I'm like, oh, you should have done that. Or I'm like, oh, I see what her
Mhm.
morning routine looks like. And I'm like, most of that stuff's not even real. I've met a
Yeah.
lot of those people.
not
I've been in
real.
that world for a little bit and it's not real. It is beyond fake.
You gotta
They
try not
post
to
that
fall in.
routine, and that's the first time they done did that routine.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you gotta try to not to fall into that comparison. You know,
Yeah.
kind of just run your own race.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to just say, bro, like, you shouldn't feel like your college, you let anybody down, bro. Because
Thank you.
I'm
'cause I tell
around,
'em that
I'm
all the
around
time.
kids. I'm around kids all the time now. I have my own kids, and then obviously the high school kids. Like, for you to even get the opportunity to go to UNT to experience the stuff you experience, it's not a lot of people that get to experience that if you look at it on a larger scale.
Mhm.
So like, it's honestly was a blessing. You got to see it as a
Thank
blessing
you.
because
Yeah.
it
For sure.
you know, you got to learn different things, you got to experience different things, and it, you know, you still here, you still rocking, you still
Right.
got a lot of life to live, and you know
We have
that's
so much time.
yeah, and that's the thing that, you know, that kind of keeps me grounded. It's just like, you know, I have teammates and friends that's still playing in the NFL right now, and you know, there are some times where it's like, damn, like I wish I could have just, maybe if it was something I could have done to where I could have
Mhm.
extended that career, you know, a little bit longer. But it's like at the end of the day, everything that I did, you know, it was a blessing. I got to experience it, and I know that there's people that are dying to even get to the smallest part that I accomplished.
Right.
So like, if you look at it that way, then, you know, I think you'll feel a lot better about yourself.
Mhm.
And, you know, you're going to have kids one day and you're going to see how hard it
God
was to
willing.
actually accomplish the stuff that you accomplished.
Right.
And going back to what we talked about at the beginning, we had a lot of kids at Centennial that, you know, from when
Yeah.
we graduated and past that made it to that next step. Because before we got there, I don't think it was a lot of people doing what we did before
That's
we
why I
got
said
there.
2013 was one of the best. We had scholarships in every sport going out that year.
It really was. It was
Every
it was a
single
lot
sport.
going on.
No, yeah.
And then even in your class with like, you know, what's his name? Jay Will
Yeah.
Mhm.
Jalen.
and Jalen and, you know, a couple other guys, you know, Raleigh and then Ridge and, you know, just a lot of guys. And even since Ridge has left, there's been guys that's gone. So, you know, going to play college sports, it's a blessing. And a lot of kids are dying to get to where
That's
we've
what
all
I
been.
was telling him. I'm like,
Well, and
Yeah.
also too, like that your life may just look different. Like, and also too,
Mhm.
the blessings are still gonna come. Like, it's not over. Your walk is just gonna be different.
Right.
Right.
And
It
you're gonna have a peak, and then you're gonna have a pit. Then your next peak, you may be flatline for a little bit, and then you're gonna have another peak. It's just never ending.
Mhm.
We're never linear. Like, it's just always undulating.
Right.
You know, and you were talking about faith. I just want to tell this one little story before we
it.
get going.
Yeah, do your thing.
Ridge, craziest experience, and he don't talk about it a lot. You know, he not real boastful about what he done been through. So Ridge graduated in 2020, the COVID year.
Mhm.
COVID was
The word.
was the
Yeah,
worst.
shut
So
everything down.
I lost my
it was
scholarship,
his
man.
senior year of high school.
Yeah.
Spring break comes, they don't go back to school, so he has no prom. The graduation was terrible. They just had
Yeah.
it over there at the soccer stadium outside.
Sheesh.
And so, you know, he did have a scholarship. He was going to McNeese. So 2020, he gets ready to go to McNeese. The college football season for all the D1 AA's that year got canceled for the fall season because of COVID. So they made them all play a spring season. So he gets there in July. The week before school starts in August, they have a huge hurricane down there in Lake Charles, Louisiana, completely shuts down the whole campus for like 3 months. So
3
COVID is
months.
going on. It's already kind of shut down because of
Right.
COVID. Then they have a hurricane, so he can't even be there. So he's living at my parents' house for the whole first semester of college.
His college
freshman
experience
year.
was
that's
not
rough.
good.
And prior to that, the coaches that recruited him there, as soon as he got there, they all got fired. And they all went to
And that's
UNT.
the word. Oh.
They all went to UNT. They all got fired at UNT.
Small world.
It's crazy. So he goes and plays the spring season. And, he does pretty good in the spring season. But, he not playing like he felt like he should be playing.
Right.
And then, his faith has been tested. Does he leave? Does he transfer? Does he stay? And then he ends up getting a call from one of the coaches that's at UNT now that recruited him. And that's how he ended up getting there in 21.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like he could have really quit football.
Yeah.
He could have,
coulda
did
gave
something else. He could have gave up. He's at my parents' crib for a whole 4 months of that first semester of college. But he ends up going to UNT and having a really good, successful career there. But your faith is always going to be tested, in all aspects, not just sports, but just life in general. And you just gotta just keep pushing.
They say you make a plan and God laughs at you.
Mm-hmm.
It don't ever go to what you think is.
Yeah, I don't make plans anymore.
Yo, you just gotta keep pushing. That's the biggest thing.
Do you
don't
think
give up.
College prepared you for professional football? Or
Yeah,
it was way different.
Football wise, I feel like pro football is a lot more lax. It's way more lax than college. Like college is way more structured, but it's more lax, but you got to be on your P's and Q's because
there's no one holding you
there's
accountable.
no one holding you accountable. So like if you slack and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, for some guys, if you that first round pick, they're gonna give you chance after chance after chance. But if you a guy that's on that fringe of you barely made the roster or you wasn't you're not the highest paid guy on the team, then you got to move different. You can't move like someone that is getting the opportunity. So college, it prepares you because it gives you that structure of how you're supposed to do things. But then it's kind of like stepping into the real world. No one's there to hold your hand.
Yeah.
And once you go pro, you got to figure out your own workout regimen. You got to figure out, your own
That's
film.
Too much.
There's nobody holding you accountable for the film, for working out. There's nobody holding you accountable for that. So you got to.
So y'all don't work out together?
And no, in the pros, in the off season, no,
Well, off season that makes sense. They go to their own private sector coaches, which is kind of like what I was doing. So that makes sense. But that's
not mandatory though,
right?
It's not. The team's not telling you, hey, you got to go to this trainer, this trainer, this trainer. You got to go in.
So when y'all be going to some wild trainers, by the way, homes, you got to keep up with it.
Whereas in college, they have an off season program for you to follow. But when you go professional, you got to go and find people on your own to work out with.
That you trust.
That you trust, right.
Yeah, and let me say, some of these people that they go to are really just out there for their money. So watch out for that for sure too.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Okay. So
well, any final words for people who are in college or want to play in college?
I would just say if you want to play, just know you got to put that time in. It's going to be a whole different dedication. And one thing that I didn't take serious was the books. And I probably could have had more opportunity to go bigger places if I would have cracked down on my books. So that's that on that.
Okay.
Yeah. College, not just football, but college in general is different now with the money aspect. At the end of the day, your grades is the most important thing. Graduating is the most important thing. But it's a lot more cutthroat now. You gotta be on your stuff, 24/7 in every sport because everyone's making money now. Right. It's not just the football players. Yeah. The volleyball girls are making money.
Amen.
I got a cousin that's going to Georgia for softball. They making money.
The hoopers are making money.
The hoopers are making money. So, which is good. They, the time they put in, they deserve the money, but that makes it even more cutthroat. Whereas now the scholarships aren't 4 years. You can't just sit there and not produce.
Yeah, it's year by year.
And expect to get paid like that. So just if that's what you want to do, just know you got to really put in the time, the work, and get your degree at the very end.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I would also say like beyond grades, training, whatever, like everybody's doing all of that. It's definitely about who's doing it better, but your character definitely takes you a lot further at the end of the day.
Yep.
Like, I guess part of my recruiting story in the first place in high school was like, my coach blatantly told me, she was like, you know, you're good, but your character is amazing. And that I really want you on my team because I love how you treat your teammates, your coaches, how you interact on the court. So that really does go a long way. And it also takes you a lot further when all of that's said and done.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I don't have no advice. Just make sure you love what you're doing.
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun. Don't stress as
And then
much. Like, it's
I'll
all going to
add
work
to
out.
it. Keep your faith through it all, though. Like, if you're
Yeah.
not diving into God, it's not going to be worth it for real.
No.
Because he's not going to pour into it,
Right. You want his blessing.
and he ain't going to give it to you if you're not putting your
Yeah.
time
His
in.
blessing and like that discernment is real. So if you
Yeah.
feel like you're not in the right place, then get out.
Transfer schools. Do what you got to do.
Yep. The portal's open.
Man. You wish you could have transferred back then?
Man, it would have been crazy if they had the portal. when
Wasn't
we
you
was coming
playing with
up.
Sydney?
Yeah, Sydney. Yeah. I think the portal was good and bad because when there was no portal, you had to really push through your
Yeah.
problems. You had to push through like a bad coach. You had to push through.
Now kids just get out.
Yeah, now it's kind of like a easy out in a sense. But there's some situations where coaches are making kids go in the portal. So I don't know. It's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, that's what they did with me at
Yeah.
UNT. They made me jump in that portal.
That's what I'm saying. So
After COVID, shoot. But I tried to finesse. You can't finesse the university. I tried to get my, because they kept me at that dorm for 3 years. I said, no, I want my apartment right now. And then shoot, they gave me my apartment. Took that scholarship with it though.
Oh, that's tough.
That's tough.
No, for real.
But you had a whole new set of coaches.
I mean, yeah.
And usually when you get
That's
new
tough.
coaches, from what I've noticed outside looking in, they want the kids they were already coaching. Like they don't want the players that were already there.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
they don't want that
And
at all.
I'll be real.
They want to
too.
build their own team.
My coach
Yep.
was sure trying to get rid of us quick.
Yep.
I wasn't putting in the time. I wasn't.
You wasn't.
I wasn't the locker room guy. Like, and that's what I would also say. If you like be that locker room person, like you said, that character, like that is gonna carry you a long way. Like players gonna vouch for you. Like, be like, we can't even play without this dude.
Yeah. You got to have people that want to be around you.
Yeah.
If people don't want to be around you, they call
don't
you
care,
a cancer,
yeah.
then it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy for them to put you out.
Right.
Sure, that's a wrap on that.
Yeah. And that's that.